A very good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. So friends, today in this particular video, we are going to study about the SAFTA. It is also known as South Asian Free Trade Agreement, or it can be called as the Agreement on South Asia Free Trade Area. So friends, before this I have made the video on what is SARC, and as well as I have made the video on what is Free Trade Agreement. Then firstly go and watch those videos, then you will be able to understand this lecture very easily. And the purpose of making video on this particular topic is very clear. One of the candidates, whose name is Saurabh Suryavanshi, you can see here his comment. He commented to make a video on SAFTA. So for this purpose I have made the video on this particular topic. If anybody of you have any queries or any doubt related to topics, then you can ask me or give me suggestions in the comment box below. So in this particular lecture, we will firstly talk about the introduction, followed by the history of SAFTA, and later on we will talk about the member nations, objectives of SAFTA, and at the last we will talk about the challenges and the conclusion as well. So let's begin with the introduction. The SAFTA is a free trade agreement of SAARC Association. So, as you can see, the SAFTA, its full form is South Asian Free Trade Agreement. It is a free trade agreement of the SAARC Association. How many countries are the member of SAARC? Then there are 8 countries. Name are India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Maldives. So all these countries are the neighborhood of India. So these countries are the member of SAARC and as well as the South Asian Free Trade Agreement. And it was signed during the 12th SAARC Summit in 2004 in Islamabad, succeeding the 1993 SAARC Preferential Trade Agreement. So friends, what is Preferential Trade Agreement? I have made a better understanding on this term in the previous video of Free Trade Agreement. You can go and watch that video and you will get to know what is Preferential Trade Agreement. Actually, it is nothing but it is similar to the Free Trade Agreement, but it is the prior version, it is the lower version of Free Trade Agreement, and it came into force in 2006. So it was enforced in 2006. Talking about the history of SAFTA, then the concept of South Asia Free Trade Agreement or SAFTA was conceived for the first time in 1993 as a PTA, Preferential Trade Agreement. Earlier we saw this. And what is PTA? Then this is the lower version of the FTA, and it gives lower coverage as compared to that of FTA. And PTA was upgraded to FTA in 2004 and came into force in 2006. So all the SAARC nations, they gather into the 12th summit of SAARC in 2004 in Islamabad, and they talk about the formation of the upgradation of PTA into FTA, Preferential Trade Agreement into Free Trade Agreement, and then it was enforced in 2006. It was basically done to improve trade and economic relations among the SAARC nations. We know that the SAARC nations, these are the least, it is considered to be the least united nations, least united region in the world. So to increase the people to people contact or to enhance the trade between these particular countries, this agreement was signed. Now, which countries are the member of SAFTA or SAARC? So all the SAARC nations, the 8 countries are the member of SAFTA as well. Those countries are India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Maldives. Friends, the Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Maldives, they have signed and ratified the treaty at initial stage in 2006 only. But due to the issues between India and Pakistan, these countries ratified the treaty in 2009. Friends, I think you don't know what is the difference between ratifying or signing a treaty. So there is a minor difference that any country which have signed the treaty, then it is just signed by the particular leader or the head of the state. But the treaty is ratified only when this treaty go into the parliament, and it is everyone's opinion, whether the opposition and the parliament opinion are taken, then only the treaty can be ratified, and then this country becomes the integral member or integral part of the treaty. So India, Pakistan, they ratified the treaty in 2009, but Afghanistan, we all know, we studied in the SAARC lecture that Afghanistan joined the SAARC association in 2007, and followed by it ratified the treaty in 2011 and become a member of SAFTA, South Asia Free Trade Agreement. Now, what are the objectives of SAFTA? So, no doubt that it is a free trade agreement. Then it will promote the interrelationship between the nations and improve people-to-people contact. Friends, we all know that trade is a very good tool to exercise the soft power, and it helps in improving the people-to-people relations between the two nations. So the first and basic purpose was this, and the creation of common market and currency by abolition of trade and tariff restriction. We have studied in the previous lecture of free trade agreement, and this is the basic principle of any free trade agreement: the creation of common market and the currency by abolition of trade and tariff restriction. So all the countries which are signing the free trade agreement, they will have to reduce or minimize the tariff or the tax duty on the imported goods, and to reduce the custom duties of traded goods to zero by 2060. This was the major objective of this treaty, to reduce the custom duty of traded goods to zero by the year 2016. Now, what are the challenges? There are certain challenges in this treaty because of the India and Pakistan bad relationship. Despite more than 10 years after enactment of the trade agreement, growth amongst the member nations is meager. Meager means scanty. It means very less. So despite more than 10 years after the enactment of the free trade agreement, the trade growth amongst the member nations is very less, only 5%. It is said that all the SAARC countries, they trade the goods of only 5% of their total trade. And the geopolitical scenario of the subcontinent, we all know that the geopolitical scenario is not well in this particular region of South Asia. This is considered to be the least integrated region of the world because of the tensions between India and China. And currently also the growing influence of China is increasing in Maldives and Nepal, and as well as in the Bangladesh. But in Nepal it is too high because the party ruling in Nepal is also the Communist Party of Nepal, and they are very much influenced by China. So they are giving anti-India statements every single day. And we all know that third point, the India and Pakistan relations are very tensed, and due to which all the countries' trade are not increasing. And the growing proximity of Pakistan and other member nations with China, I already explained this. The Pakistan is very much connected with China, and they are building various projects, dams in the Pakistan illegally occupied Kashmir. So this is the tensions between India and Pakistan, and that's why the trade has not increased yet. So finally, what can be the conclusion? So recently we saw that our Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, proposed to establish the SAARC Emergency Fund and as well as the formation of Rapid Response Team to fight COVID-19 pandemic. So this tragedy of COVID-19 may provide an opportunity to revive the SAARC. The SAARC Emergency Fund, in which India donated 10 million US dollar, and the formation of Rapid Response Team of doctors, specialists, testing kits and testing equipments. This will be a great exercise, the great tool for India to exercise its soft power and revive the association. And apart from this, all the members, all the leaders of the SAARC countries, they requires much more diplomatic and political will. So this is the must requirement, and I think the countries should come on the talk. Pakistan should eradicate terrorism from their ground as well as stop facilitating terrorists to India, and hence only the India and all other countries including Pakistan will come onto the table and will have the free trade agreement, and the trade and the commerce in this region can be improved. So this is all in this video. I hope you like this. Thank you. Jai Hind.